Good weekend, all. Ira Epstein with your metal market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Friday, and this is your weekend edition for the 20th of June, 2025. All right, when you look at the markets, you got to put on a different thinking cap. All the metals have been getting hit and coming off their highs as a group. Silver got hit pretty good this week. The gold market's no longer 3,500 an ounce. It's down to 3,385. Why? The markets had, to an element, especially gold, built in a war premium. Silver was a tag along to a degree. Copper is a market that is trying to prove it can get up and stay over the $5 level. It's a confusing story because, on one hand, we're going to have tariffs before July 9th that we're supposed to know what they are. Is that going to slow down demand for copper, silver? I don't know. The next part of it is the war between Israel and Iran. Where are we with it? The president really confused the markets because, as you know, during the week, the G7 was taking place, and he literally ran away from the G7 on his plane. The next 48 hours, something big is going to happen. Well, the only thing big that happened is he ran back to Washington, and nothing happened. And as it turns out, he gave he gave them another 2 weeks as pressure's been put on him. By political. The Magma do not want the U.S. to go to war. They didn't put him in the White House to fight with Iran when it's not the U.S. war. This is Israel's war. Or is it? I mean, you got to think it through. I think having a nuclear weapon in a terrorist regime, I want to be very careful, not country, terrorist regime's hands is absolutely something the United States belongs in. You don't hide because we said we wouldn't do it. This is very, very different, all right? The moment they get it and they have those ballistic missiles, what makes you think Chicago's safe, New York's safe? I mean, I think you're dreaming with that. So you've got to think it through. Now, the president moments ago was on television again, saying in a news conference one more time and when asked about the 2 weeks, he said, that's the maximum. He said, I could go earlier. So he wants you to know where he's at. That statement in its own would probably get the metals to rally a little bit. Energy markets, a mixed bag here. Natural gas got hit pretty good today with the news that you're into 100-degree weather. So again, you went from 423 all the way back to 391. I always laugh about it because this captures the Johnny-come-latelys. I've been prepping you for 3 weeks that you're going to get that first number. You're going to get a big rally, and the question is, can it hold it? And basically, that's what took place. All right. When we take a look at the news that's coming out Monday, you've got the S&P Global Group, and this is going to be important because the preliminary June manufacturing sector PMI is coming out. Are we going to see the impact of the tariffs? Everyone. The Fed members are looking for it. You should be looking for it. The analysts on TV, the analysts in the brokerage firms, everybody wants to see where that's at. Existing home sales at 9 o'clock for May will be coming out. We're going to get a lot of Fed speak with different members coming out. And in the middle of the week, Fed Chair Powell will go to Congress and give them an update as to everything. So it's a week where we're going to hear a lot about inflation. And as you heard today, you're getting some of the Fed members. We had a governor today come out, Kugler came out, and he said he's for a cut in July. Mary Daly, no. At the earliest, autumn. So you're going to hear all the different parts where they're at. Remember, we keep going for more and more members pushing back as to when a cut's going to happen. So be careful. Don't get too involved. Let the PMI numbers start doing it for you because that'll be your roadmap to when the inflation is hitting the economy. All right, so let's go to the charts and take a look for what we have. When we look at gold on a monthly chart of just closing prices, you're at a high. So anyone that thinks you're not, you are, folks. This is the highest high on this chart, but that's a monthly chart. The weekly chart keeps coming up to it and just sort of hanging around here. You've had a spike high, then you had a drop, and in the process, you've still kept the swing line bullish with higher lows and higher highs. The bull trend on a weekly chart hasn't been hurt. The market is sitting over the 18-week average of closes. That means the bias is up. Your other moving averages, the 200, the 100 day a week, are all way under the market. So the weekly averages are certainly staying up. The Bollinger Band is your big resistance number. It's at 35.26. To get there, you're going to be at those all-time highs. And when we look at slow stochastics, they're overbought. So the market's a disappointed market. Every time it thinks the market's going to go and the U.S. has got the jets going off the ground and everything, it's not there. What is taking place, though, during this 2-week whatever, if it ends up 2 weeks, is U.S. assets are moving all through the region. And we will see when they're in place what the president decides to do. So it's going to be interesting. I've got my fingers crossed, and I'm so serious about this, that Iran comes to its senses and says, yeah, they invested $5 trillion over years, trillion, to develop uranium that they can't have. It isn't worth it. They got to get back with the public. Unfortunately for the regime, the government, that could be the end of them, so they're fighting for their life. I'm shocked that the people in Iran don't take to the street more, but they haven't yet. When that happens, you know the game's over, I guess. Gold-silver ratio, you're still staying under the 18-week average. When you look at silver, you've had a big outside week down. So if you've taken my outside day course, and it also works with the outside week, this is so important. I'm not going to say any more. We'll talk about the course at the end of this. In the copper market, you continue to just stay at the 18-week average of closes, and you don't go anywhere. And in the meantime, you keep ever so slowly tightening the Bollinger Band, so a bigger move is eventually going to come out of all this. But it may be waiting to see, what are the tariffs going to be? You know, the president came out on, I think it was June 12th, and said within 2 weeks, he will tell you what the tariffs are going to be. Next week, you're through with that. So is he going to stay true to his word? Because July 9th is right around the corner. We'll see. I haven't seen anybody do a deal other than the UK with us. Higher lows, higher highs. Platinum's too stretched out over the upper Bollinger Band. Notice how it gave up the peak this week. It's probably going to try to get into that band right away. And in the dollar, I see no reason, nothing on the horizon as to why the dollar should go up. Let me tell you what's happened to the dollar. If you look at all the countries that are cutting interest rates, and there's a mess of them, they are getting their economies going where we're still restrained because we've been really our wrists tied by the president. We don't know what these tariffs are going to be, what they're going to do. The others are taking measures. Let's cut rates, because the U.S. is keeping a minimum 10% tariff on it. That's a known. It might be worse. We're the other end of the game. And you'll say, well, that keeps our rates high and it's attractive. Not necessarily. We don't know if the tariffs will slow down the economy. So you got to put that all together. Now, on this outside day, outside week, I have a course on this. It's so important. It's got 9 video chapters. You get the charting software you see me using here. You get the chapters to teach you how to work with this, and free access while you're taking the course. It's for 2 weeks that you can get into my morning research and see all the videos on spiders, ETFs, and I talk this all the time. So that reinforces it besides all that. Just go to iraepstein.com. Under the word courses, it's there. You've got up here one of the an icon there, and you'll have another one over the video. Give them a click. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great weekend. Take a look at the other videos. Don't eat too much. It's barbecue weekend. It's hot. I'll catch you on Monday.